today I'm gonna switch things up a little bit because I have been getting some comments about hair care routine, also about my blonde hair and things like that. So I figured I would do an updated hair care video where I talk about tips, tricks, little secrets on how I saved my hair and brought it back from the dead if we're gonna get into Halloween mode. And I'm not lying, my hair was in really bad shape. I'll show you if I can find a picture. There's one in particular. It was basically breaking off at the ends. It was very elasticy, like felt like it was melting. And I had breakage that was probably, I mean, a couple inches long or short, or however you wanna see it, in the back of my head that would just break out of my head. And it was a time to be alive. I figured I would do a video talking to you guys about the changes I made, and I'm gonna start from just a general hair care routine kind of deal and basically walk through it and talk about at each step what I changed and how that changed my hair. So hopefully this will help you guys. You'll find some little tips and tricks in here that even little small changes here and there could help. And then there's also some larger changes in here that you can try out. So before I get into all my tips and tricks, I want to mention the sponsor for today's video. So today's video is sponsored by Function of Beauty. And if you haven't heard of Function of Beauty before, it is a custom hair care brand. So what you do is you take a 2-minute quiz that asks you all sorts of things about your hair type, your hair goals. You can also choose your own fragrance and the fragrance intensity. So if you like it really strong, you can get it really strong. Or if you don't like fragrance, like whatever, you get to choose. Plus, you get to choose your own color. Also, there are no parabens, no sulfates, no GMOs, no toxins. It is 100% vegan and cruelty-free. So then after you take your quiz, basically you get an entire customized shampoo and conditioner situation based on your needs. So for me, my goals were to deep condition, hydrate, reduce brassiness. I wanted to strengthen my hair and I needed some volume going on. Also, I chose the fragrance Cherry Blossom and the Cherry Blossom scent smells amazing. All right, so then you get these customized bottles that say Function of, and then it has your name on it. So mine says Function of Jade. It says it on both of them, which I love. But with the shampoo, since I chose that I wanted to reduce brassiness, they go ahead and put the purple stuff in it that will help tone out any brassiness or yellow. I was actually using a purple shampoo separate from my other shampoos. So I love that. Plus you get the little pumps with your bottles. Also you get stickers that you could put on your bottles to customize it even more. So far, let me say, the purple shampoo is probably the easiest purple shampoo I've worked with as far as getting it distributed evenly throughout the hair. I really have struggled in the past with purple shampoos that just kind of glob on and leave your hair looking patchy. This is really nice, lathers really well, distributes really evenly. They sell other hair care products too that you can easily add it to your order. I actually got the leave-in conditioner in the same scent. It smells so good. I did put a couple of stickers on this one to make it look a little bit fancy. Really been enjoying this leave-in conditioner. Gets out all my tangles, feels really great. It's really light, doesn't weigh my hair down, which is important because my hair is really fine. So far, I'm loving this and definitely want to keep going with it. You can also do a subscription service where it's delivered every, like if you want it like 2 months or 3 months or 6 months, you can get it delivered to your door. So if you're wanting to give Function of Beauty a try for yourself, you can click the link in the description below and get 20% off your first order, and you can get started on your quiz. All right, so now let's get into the tips and tricks that helped save my hair and just general hair care tips that I feel like are important. All right, so I'm gonna go in order based on just a hair care routine. So let's start with the shower, or well, actually before I get in the shower. I don't know if everybody does this, not everyone may need to do this, but one thing's for sure, I always need to brush my hair, basically always, and I hate doing it. And so by the time I'm about to wash my hair, it needs a good brushing, we'll say that. It's even beyond any conditioner's reach at that point. The number one thing that changed the game for me, and I guess my first tip, is to get a brush that is gentle on the hair. And for me, I prefer the Tangle Teaser. I know a lot of people prefer the wet brush. There's a bunch of different ones out there, but I've noticed with the Tangle Teaser that I don't get a ton of hair into the brush. Like I don't lose a bunch of hair in the brush. In comparison to like some of the bristly type of brushes I was using, more hair would end up in the brush than on my head basically, or at least on my ends. So the Tangle Teaser is way more gentle and actually gets the tangles out of my hair instead of just ripping out hair or breaking off hair in the process. Another little tip to throw out there that a lot of people know this tip, but I didn't know this tip until I went to go work in a salon and I was like, oh, whoops. How you brush your hair actually matters. I just always thought like you brush your hair like Marsha Brady, you know, just like this, like a million times. But basically what happens at that point is if you run into any tangles, you're just gonna go ahead and stack them up and you get this big ball of tangles, or you're just gonna yank them out, you're gonna pull them out. But you're supposed to start at the ends and work your way up. That way you can take on any tangles as you get to them, especially if you get mats in your hair, which I definitely do in the back. I get some matted hairs, so I start from the bottom and work my way up towards the scalp. All right, so moving on to the shower. So my tips when it comes to shampoo and conditioner and whatever happens in the shower with your hair, my number one tip that I have repeated over and over and over again is to invest in your hair care. It just changes everything. If you're happy with what you got going on, you have no qualms whatsoever, then just keep doing what you're doing. I'm not here to say, no, bad, oh, like, no. If you like what you're doing, then keep going with it. But if you're wondering, like, what is going on with my hair, it may be worth it to try a different product. It really does make a difference, especially if you're going to a salon or going to a stylist to get your hair done. Because not only are you gonna make your stylist happier by actually investing in products, they're really not always trying to upsell you and just like, here, I know I just charged you money, but here, take more. I mean, you may get the occasional person who does that, but most of the time your stylist just really wants you to have healthy hair. So it makes it easier on them to achieve your goals. If you're wanting blonde, if you're wanting short hair, long hair, if you want volume, they just want to help you achieve that. So I always say invest in quality hair products. And if you think of it this way, especially if you're going to a salon, if your hair is not in good shape, it's gonna actually cost you more money to get it fixed than if you just invested in the product and had healthier hair. And when I say quality product, I really mean I wouldn't buy anything at the drugstore, in my opinion. A lot of drugstore products have waxes that will build up on your hair. What it feels like if you have product buildup is basically it will feel sticky. Like it still feels damp. It takes forever to dry. It feels a little spongy, sticky. It's really weighed down. That's when you know you have some product buildup. And a lot of drugstore brands and even some professional brands will put waxes in their shampoos and conditioners because it makes the hair look amazing. Basically, it fills in any damaged areas on your cuticle, on your hair cuticle, and just makes it look nice and shiny and thick and amazing. But over time, it can build up and actually do damage to your hair. An option if you're wanting to go that route still is to just make sure you get a good clarifying shampoo, get through and make sure you're clarifying your hair and avoiding any buildup. That would be my tip. All right, so once we're in the shower washing our hair, this is something that I didn't mention in any of my other hair care videos, and it's a tip that I probably annoy my husband to death with this. So I bleach my husband's hair. He has hair that's similar to mine, if you've seen what he looks like before. And it gets me. And I used to do it too, so I can't be that mad. All right, so when you're washing your hair, this tip is be gentle. That's my tip. I guess I should say it a little bit lighter. Be gentle. So my husband likes to get in the shower and go to town on his hair, just like he does this. Like where it just like takes all of his hair and just is like doing this with it very aggressively. I don't know what's happening, but I literally do this. I'm like, no, because his hair is bleached, and when your cuticle is already, basically it just really roughs up the cuticle. It is really hard on your hair when you just go to town on your hair, but I wouldn't recommend it basically. But like once the hair, especially if it's color treated, bleached, if you have a perm, anything like that, going really rough on the cuticle like that, and even if you have curly hair, oh God, it's just, it just causes this like frizzy, poofy, it's just not ideal basically on the hair. So when I'm shampooing my hair, I go in and I just, with my hair down here, my hair is not up in a ball going like this. My hair is just down wherever, but it's not on top of my head. And then I'm kind of just scrubbing my scalp and just kind of doing a massage. And then, so I kind of do them separate. I'm washing the ends of my hair separate from the scalp area. So that way my ends don't get all caught up and end up tangled and just all roughed up. And I know when you have shorter hair, it's a little bit more difficult because it's all kind of in one place. So if that's the case, I would say just massage gently. My next tip, I've mentioned this before in some of my hair care videos. My next tip is to shampoo the hair twice. And I know that seems against basically everything that people say, where they're like, don't shampoo your hair too much. But the reason I say this is because I find that I end up using less product, especially with longer hair, when I do it this way. And I can avoid some future product buildup. All right, so what I do is on my first run, I take a little small amount of shampoo and put it through my hair. It doesn't feel like it's doing anything. It doesn't lather. I'm not gonna go in and just pump more into my hand and put it all in my hair and just use a bunch of product. I'm just gonna keep working it through my hair, and it's not really gonna feel like it's doing anything. And then I rinse my hair out. So then I go in for round 2, and I usually take about like a quarter size, maybe a little bit more if I need it. If it's purple shampoo, I use more because I wanna make sure it's nice and coated and saturated and worked in. But you'd be surprised. If you go in the first time around, and then you try to go in with your normal amount of shampoo that you use, you're gonna be like, whoa, this is way too much. You just broke down the product in your hair. So now you're actually going into shampoo. So you don't need as much shampoo as usual in my experience. So I go in for my second round, I put in my shampoo, and this time it lathers. We're on the topic of shampoo and conditioner. I really wanted to mention a bond builder just really quick. It's because it's the #1 tip I have that absolutely changed the game with my hair. The bond builder actually was what helped rebuild my hair, so I didn't have to just start from scratch. So there's a lot of different ones out there. My favorite is Olaplex. I use the Olaplex #3. I use the whole collection or whole line of it. But I started with #3 and I saw the biggest difference with #3. So basically Olaplex, or I think there's like Brazilian Bond Build, there's a bunch of different ones. Basically it mimics the bonds of the hair. So it actually rebuilds the hair. So you don't have to wait for it to completely grow out. So I use Olaplex #3 once a week, and that's what's recommended. With that type of thing though, here's an added tip. There is such thing as too much protein, so you don't want to use it too much. Some people get really excited about products like Olaplex and they're like, I'm just gonna use it 500 times a day. Not really, but I'm gonna use it every day. And then they get protein overload, which can actually end up breaking off your hair, and it just is not good. So that's why they recommend only using it once a week. I know some people are like, oh, it's the hype, it's definitely not that good. No. It really, really is. It doesn't seem that good because it doesn't make your hair feel soft. It's a product you put on your hair, you leave it in, and you shampoo and condition as normal. So it just feels like regular hair after you after you wash it out. It doesn't feel like it's like a deep conditioner or a mask or something where your hair feels really soft and silky. The Olaplex is not a conditioner, it's a bond builder. And I think that's the #1 thing people get confused with, and that's why they don't end up liking it, because they're like, I didn't feel anything. Well, it does need time to rebuild, A, and B, it's not supposed to feel soft after you use it. It's just supposed to like rebuild the hair. So it's just gonna feel like hair, wet hair, basically. I swear it's one of the reasons why I was able to even get my hair this long, if not the main reason. All right, so that's my spiel on bond builders. All right, so next up, we're getting out of the shower. We're gonna towel dry our hair. And I feel like the first thing I learned, at least, I don't know if everyone learned, other people have to learn it this way too, because my husband does this, and once again it gets under my skin. You get out of the shower and you get your towel and you start roughing up your hair to get it dry, and then you take, my husband doesn't do this, but I used to do this, you take your heavy towel, your big old towel, and you wrap it around your head and fling it over the back, and you've got this big huge towel wrapped, like your hair wrapped in this huge towel. I used to do this. I used to do that exact procedure and didn't know there was anything wrong with it. Well, it turns out it's kind of like what we talked about in the shower when shampooing the hair. When you really go to town, it's really roughing up that cuticle, and that's when you're gonna get that breakage, or like whatever hair that's damaged is not gonna be doing so hot. Not only that, but when you put a heavy towel on top of your head and it's pulling on the scalp and your hair is wet already, So it could either break off the hair or pull it out of your scalp. So my number one tips when it comes to this, I get these little towel wraps. They're specifically made for like to wrap your hair in a towel and wear on top of your head. I get mine at Target. I'll link them in the description box for you. So what I do is I squeeze out my hair and then I put the little, it's like this towel situation. I put it over my head and then I wrap it around, and it's basically the same concept as wrapping your hair in a towel, but it doesn't have the weight. And the towel is more of like that microfiber feel, so it actually gets more moisture out of your hair. So what you might be saying is, my hair is way too long and way too thick to be in those little hair things. What I do is I kind of fold my hair up in it. So I kind of like kind of put it over my head, and then I just kind of fold my hair in half. And it's not like I'm twisting it really tight. I just kind of do a loose twist. So it's all my hair is in there. Love it. I will link it in the description box. So next up, we want to get all the tangles out of our hair and get it ready to, maybe you blow dry, maybe you don't. I'll go through both scenarios. Either way, you got to get the tangles out of your hair. All right, so this is my tip. Be gentle 3.0. Being gentle with the hair when it's wet is really important, like we were talking about, not roughing it up with the towel, and then going through and brushing it, unless they actually do have brushes that are safe on wet hair now. The wet brush, Tangle Teaser, so they do have some brushes that are safe on wet hair. I would definitely recommend that, especially if you can't get a comb through your hair. So I use a leave-in conditioner. I really have been liking the Function of Beauty one. I go in and I put in my leave-in conditioner and go in with my Tangle Teaser, and once again start from the bottom of the hair, work my way up. I would try to avoid, because I don't want to tell you what to do, but I would try to avoid any sort of hair like brushes, you know, like the bristly brushes. Because when your hair is wet, it's basically just gonna snap it off, and that's why you can get a lot of breakage, split ends. It's just not good on the hair to use that type of brush when it's wet. So after that, if you don't blow dry your hair, then you probably end up just stopping here and let your hair air dry and everything's fine, and that's good. If you do tend to blow dry your hair and style it, my tip here is to find products that do the work for you. That is my favorite tip of basically when it comes to hair products, because I don't know, whenever I was using products, it just seemed like it was so much work. Like it was more work to put the products in the hair than it was to just let it air dry or just do whatever. And I was like, I'll deal with flat hair. I don't care. But if you find product that works for your hair, that is exactly what you need, then it just does all the work for you. All right, so wait, I'm gonna add another tip to that. And that is, don't be afraid to use multiple products or layer products or mix products to get the result you're looking for or to get it to work for you. So for me, I like volumizing, but some of the volumizing products have no shine. They're like really dull looking on the hair. And sometimes they're also they can be sticky or tacky or just too much. So a lot of the times what I do is I get like a volumizing serum or cream or mousse or something. I will add some sort of shine product, whether it's a serum. Usually I like to go for a cream. I like Red Can Outshine for this. I either mix it with the product, or if it's like a volumizing spray, I'll put the volumizing spray on, work it through the hair, and then I'll put in some shine serum or cream and kind of just do both. And that is my secret there. All right, so next up, let's say you're blow drying your hair. Not everyone blow dries their hair, but I usually do. This tip is, and some people might already know this because this tip was floating around the interwebs for a while, blow dry the hair at the roots first. For me, what I used to do is take the blow dryer and just go, woo, just like on top of the hair, like whatever. All it was doing was applying unnecessary heat to the top of my hair, and then all of this underneath would be still wet and take forever to dry. And I even take it a step further and say I would blow dry the back roots first. So if you flip your hair over and you blow dry your back here, because back here in the back of the head always has the thickest hair. Starting at the root area and at the thickest portion, like in the back, or just starting underneath. If you don't like to flip your hair over, starting underneath and taking the blow dryer under there and getting all of this nice and dry. Really, by the time you get to the ends, like once your roots are done, your ends will basically already be dry or getting closer to where it's not going to take you long at all to finish the rest. Also, really quick, I will say this because we mentioned this earlier, just a side tip that's also bonus, so that's also part of another tip, is that if your hair really is not drying, like it's not, like it's sticky, it's heavy, like it's almost like poofy, spongy, if that is what's happening to your hair, if I had to guess, I would say you have product buildup, and I would get some clarifying shampoo, leave it on, I would say for about 5 minutes, let it break down, wash it out, and then use a really good deep conditioner. But once it's broken down and your hair is back, it actually might look a little bit damaged because of the product buildup, but just keep up, like get some Olaplex or use a deep conditioner and it should recover. After your hair is washed and dried and we did all this stuff to it, we're tired. It's time for bed. Not really, but maybe it's time for bed. So this tip is probably, next to Olaplex, is the #1 thing that helps save my hair. And I have a couple of alternatives with it depending on your hair type. So my #1 tip is to protect your hair in your sleep. One of the reasons I think my hair was so damaged back in the crown area where I had this little sprig is because when I would sleep at night, I would just be rolling around like this and I'd wake up and this area would be like a whole frizzy, it looked like, I don't even know. So there are a couple options here. #1, you can use a satin pillowcase. Another option would be a bonnet, like a satin bonnet, or a silk scrunchie, something that's going to protect the hair from just moving all around and just getting all roughed up, basically. What I do is, I'm not to that level yet. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I am pretty lazy about that aspect, but what I do that has helped me, and I really want to take it to the next level, I tie my hair up in a messy bun, like a really, really loose messy bun, because I don't want the tension, especially up here, because I'm not trying to go bald, but it's better than just letting it go free. I kind of want to get into the bonnet game, or maybe a satin scrunchie game, because this has already changed my hair so much and has really helped keep it nice and healthy. There are 2 more tips I wanted to add to this that are just worth mentioning. One of them I mentioned in a hair care video before, and a lot of you guys responded and said, oh my gosh, that was the reason my hair was messed up. #1 is check to see what's going on with your water. Because when my husband and I moved in together, I mentioned this on a previous video, so I'll be quick on this, but when we moved in together for the first time, my hair wasn't, like, it was looking better than ever. And then I moved into his house and my hair became trashed. Like it just, like I was talking about earlier, broke off, was melting. I didn't know what was going on. So anyways, move into our new house in a different area. And by the way, that other area is like known for having really hard water. So we moved to a different area and I didn't know anything, like I didn't even know this could affect my hair, but my hair just starts improving. Just overall healthier, shinier. So the hard water was basically, when I was talking about product buildup, it was basically thrashing our hair, but I think some of the minerals were building up on our hair. So I would definitely check if you know you have hard water in your area, or if you want to look into it. You can get water softeners that are just for your shower. I'll try to find one and link one in the description box for you. But you can get one of the water softeners that attaches to your shower head, and it has like a filter in it and stuff. Next tip, really quickly, something else that saved my hair is I gave up extensions, and this was really hard for me because I love having thick hair, and my hair naturally is just not that thick. It's healthy, it's strong. I just don't have, like, I have a lot of hair. It's just, I have fine hair. I always have, even before I bleached my hair. So I love extensions because they make my hair feel nice and thick, and I still will use them for occasions. If I've got a Halloween costume, or if I'm going somewhere really fancy, really want to get all spruced up. But I used to wear them literally like anywhere I went. So what was happening is it was basically just too much weight on my fine hair, essentially. So if you have thicker hair or curly hair, you may be able to get away with extensions and not have any problems. But if you have fine, thin hair, it's just a lot of weight on the hair and a lot of pressure on the hair. Even when I would back comb it, try to give it a good cushion. My hair wasn't as healthy as it is now. I didn't get alopecia like some people get. Some people go bald, like it rips out their hair. Mine was just not really allowing my hair to grow. It's kind of putting strain on my hair. Anyways, that is it. That's a lot of tips and tricks, but I hope I was able to at least help you, or maybe there was one new thing that you found exciting or that you learned from this. You can let me know down in the comments which tip helped you the most, or which one was your favorite, or if these videos are helpful. I also want to do another video. I've been getting some questions recently about toners and bleach and how I get my hair blonde and all that kind of stuff. And I wanted to get this out first because this is more just for everybody. But also I wanted to be able to put this out there so when I'm talking about blonde hair, I can refer back to this video. But let me know in the comments if you have any questions about blondes or like my hair or toners or whatever. Leave those down in the comments because I will definitely do a video. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you can give it a thumbs up, say hey ghoul hey down in the comments because you know I love talking to you. Also, don't forget you can get 20% off your first Function of Beauty order if you click on the link in the description box below and get started on your quiz. So yeah, anyways, thank you so much for watching and I will see you guys next time.